Hey guys, Sean Lentz here from Appalachian DIY, and today we're going to do a tool review on the Maximum Bolt and Nut Extractor Set. So the main reason that I bought this set is because I had a lug nut on my truck that I just could not get off. The chrome capping on it ended up tearing off, and I tried heating it with a torch to cherry red to try and loosen this thing up, and it just ended up rounding off. So I had no way to change my tires for the winter coming up because this thing was just stuck on there so bad. So I ended up buying this set to get that nut off. And that kind of gives us into our first pro for this tool, and that is the teeth on this thing. There are 6 deep grooves on this. Not like some other tools where it has a bunch of grooves, but they're really shallow. And I like that about this thing, that it has 6 deep grooves, because it just bites into this lug nut and it did not let go. I was standing on this thing with a 36-inch half-inch breaker bar and jumping up and down on it, and it did not slip one time. So I really like the teeth on this thing, and they stayed sharp, and this thing still looks like it's brand new after I used it on this lug. The second pro that I really like about this is if you have a nut that is threaded down really far and it's too deep to get on with just a normal socket extractor, this has a hex nut on the back, and it allows you to pass through, get to that nut, and get on here with a wrench. That is a huge benefit, especially if you have a nut that's all the way threaded down on a rod or something. It allows you to pass through and get on here with a wrench or another socket, or a deeper socket. The third thing that I really like about these is that they're impact rated. If you needed to, you could get onto this with an impact. I don't prefer to. I prefer to use a breaker bar. I think it gives you a little bit better feel about what's going on with the tool itself. But if you had to, you can put this on an air impact. So let's talk about the cons real quick. There's 2 small ones, and the first one is the 16 millimeter. With this set, the 16 millimeter has a really thin wall on it compared to the other ones that are really thick. And I wish they would change this, because this is the biggest drawback to this tool set. If you're buying this specifically for the 16 millimeter, I would kind of shy away from this set, because if you need something to get off of it and it's really stuck on there, you have the possibility of blowing this thing apart, especially if you're on it with an air impact. If you're using just a breaker bar, you might be able to get away with it if you're really easy with it, but I have seen a couple of reviews where guys have blown this socket apart. The other ones I haven't seen any problems with at all, but this 16 millimeter may be a problem. The only other thing that I don't like about it is when you're getting from the 17 millimeter up, I wish they would go from a 3/8 drive to a 1/2 inch right away, because you're getting into some really big nuts that you're trying to get off, and you're putting a lot of pressure on there. So if you did use this, you're either going to need to use an adapter to step up to a 1/2 inch breaker bar, or what I did with my truck, when I got onto my lug nut, what I did is, instead of using an adapter, I just took a 1-inch impact socket, slipped it right over that hex nut on the back, and then just got onto it with my breaker bar like that. So that's why I really like this hex nut on the back. It gives you a lot of versatility. This is a great set to start off with. It gives you all the way from 1/4 to 3/4 / 19 millimeter. Anything bigger than that, you're probably just going to be able to buy the extractors just by themselves and then add on to this set. So this is a great place to start, especially for 30 bucks. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Head over to Appalachian DIY for more videos. Thanks again, guys, and I hope to see you next time.